Hello, my name is Travis Calvert, and you're watching Every Guitar a Story. Welcome to the 6th episode of Every Guitar a Story. I've got a great show planned for you with a special guitar and an even more special guest, Bob Balch of the legendary Manchu, who we'll be talking to shortly. But first, I want to show you a guitar that is near and dear to my heart. If you've watched any of the previous episodes of this show, you know that most of my youth and young adulthood was spent playing loud, fast, raucous music, which I still love and can't seem to get away from. I mean, just when I thought I was out, they pulled me back in. But we'll get to that in a later episode. Stick with me. It's all coming around, I promise. Anyways, I came to a point in my life where I felt like I needed to dial it back a bit. In September 2010, my father passed away at the all too young age of 59 when he succumbed to lung cancer. So don't smoke, kids. They call them coffin nails for a reason. As my dad used to say, it wasn't the cough that carried him off, it was the coffin we carried him off in. Anyways, shortly before he passed, I went home for a visit, and I got to spend some time with him. And while he didn't have many possessions or an estate to leave me or my sister, what he did give us were the lessons learned from a lifetime of hard work. I can honestly say I've never met anyone who worked as hard as my father. He literally worked his hands to the bone, which were often severely cut and bruised. So when he presented to me a box of old, rare coins he'd been collecting his whole life, I knew it had to mean something. He was one of those guys who would give freely of what he had, oftentimes sacrificing his little free time to help folks out with home renovations, a roofing project, electrical, plumbing projects. You name it, he could do it. Out of pure necessity, the man taught himself so many skills, and hopefully that's something I've picked up on a little bit. And, I knew I couldn't take this box of old coins and just let it sit in a dresser drawer for decades. I had to do something with it. So I used it as an opportunity to do something special. And in honoring his memory and the spirit of hard work and integrity and ingenuity, I decided to trade in the coins and buy this here guitar. It's a 2011 Gibson Les Paul 60s Tribute. It's got the chambered mahogany body, so it's not as heavy as some of the Les Pauls, but it sounds really great. It's got the delicious gold top finish on it, which they still use a little bit of copper flake in the paint, and when it starts to wear off, it turns a little bit green, which gives it that kind of worn look. But I guarantee you, none of this is relic. This is all actual genuine wear. When I bought this guitar, it was brand new, but as you can see, belt buckle, the neck's pretty wore down, it's a little bit scratched up here and there, but it's all genuine wear that I've come through honest play. And it's been just a fantastic guitar. It's got the old style Kluson tuners and of course the Gibson P90s, which sound just fantastic. Let me play a little something for you here. What I love about this guitar is that you can play it really soft and it stays nice and clean, but the harder you hit the strings, the more it distorts. What I found this guitar does really well is if you combine the two pickups. It's, before playing loud rock and roll, it was always about the bridge pickup, just turn it up as loud as it would go and go for it. That's what you wanted. But with this guitar, it does something really special where you turn this one up most of the way and then this neck pickup about half the way and blend the two, and you get just this absolutely gorgeous sound. It's just so sweet and buttery, but it's really cool because the harder you hit it, the more it distorts. Anyway, it's been a great guitar that I've absolutely loved playing. It's opened up avenues that I never would have explored otherwise. As I was saying earlier, up until the point where I got this guitar, I was playing so much overdriven, distorted guitar that when I got this, I made a conscious decision to step back, dial back the volume and distortion, and start playing something more laid back, more roots oriented, more in line with the kind of music my dad grew up on. My dad was into things like CCR, the Rolling Stones, and a whole bunch of country, which is something that my man Garrett Donovan would bring to the table when I started playing music with him a few years later. So it was with this guitar that I was heavily influenced in the sound of what it sounds like when you dial it to the point of just barely breaking up and then just back off just a little bit. And then, using that kind of sound, I would start writing songs for what would become basement tapes. It took me a bit to find the right people, but once I got set up with Jason Cording and Perry Sandoval, we put together a set and had our first show in 2016. The rest, they say, is history. So that's the story of this guitar. But let's shift gears for a minute and talk to a master shredder. If you're a fan of heavy music at all, you've probably heard the name Fu Manchu. Bob Balch has been their guitar player since 1999, and he's one hell of an amazing player. He's just sick. He blows my mind all the time. But he has a website called Play This Riff where he sits down with some of the most prolific, notable guitarists of every heavy music genre possible, and he gets them to share their secret riffs with the camera. Also, he's a very avid guitar instructor, which is where I found him, and I've had a few lessons with him, and it's been fantastic. So I highly recommend reaching out to Bob if you can. Anyways, I was fortunate enough to catch up with him via Zoom meeting in San Diego. So here he is now.
Hello,
Hey, how's it going, Bob?
recording in progress. What's up, dude?
Not too much. How you doing?
I'm doing all right.
Been busy?
Sorry about making the times all change and
Oh,
stuff.
no problem, man. Totally flexible there.
Been pretty busy.
That's
But
good. Busy's good, right?
yeah, for sure, dude. How you been?
Doing good.
Right on. Cool.
All right, so let's start this thing for real. I'm here with Bob Balch of Play This Riff and Fu Manchu. And if you could, give us a list of some other projects you've been involved with.
Fu Manchu, Sun and Sail Club was two records I did with them with like both Scott Reeders, the Scott Reeder from Caius and Scott Reeder from Fu Manchu, and the singer of the Adolescents, Tony Adolescent, and then Big Scenic Nowhere. I've been doing that stuff recently with Gary and Bill from Yawning Man and Tony Reed from Us Generator. And we have a ton of different guests that come on and do stuff for that. So it's been pretty fun too.
Cool, right on, man.
Yeah.
So how old were you when you started playing guitar?
I was 13.
Yeah?
And, my brother had to go to like the army or something, like he got in trouble and he got shipped off, and all of his metal cassettes and his guitar and stuff were all left behind. So I just kind of took over on his, his records and his cassettes and his guitar. So yeah, 13. And then I joined Fu Manchu 6 years later, which is weird to think about now.
Wow, yeah, so you're 19 when you started that band.
Yeah.
Nice. So what was it that got you into guitar? What made you want to be a guitar player?
Probably Headbangers Ball on MTV. I don't know if you remember that show.
Oh yeah, of course. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I was like, my brother's records, and because I just the Iron Maiden record covers and shit. I'd look shit as a kid and go, I don't even know what that is, but that's killer.
Yeah.
It was killers. But so yeah, but I would like videotape Headbangers Ball. I'd like set my VCR and then get up in the morning. This is like mid 80s or late 80s, I think. And the tape machine would be filled with like heavy metal videos. And I would just watch that every Sunday. And yeah, eventually I was like, shit, I should try playing. I was like already collecting music and way into that shit. So yeah, my brother got shipped away. He left his acoustic guitar, which I still have. And I started taking lessons at a store named Music House, where I actually ended up working. That's how I met Brad from Fu Manchu. He worked there too.
Oh,
It's
wow.
all just twisted way of getting to where I am now. But it's a long answer. Yeah, 13.
Yeah, that's cool. So what was your first guitar, the one that was actually yours rather than the one you inherited?
I inherited that one, and then I forget where I bought this one used. I got like a white Fender Squire.
Yeah.
That I have like one picture of me playing it, and then I sold that to a kid in 8th grade to get it was an Ibanez with like the locking tremolo and all that shit.
Yeah.
I forgot what it was. I have another picture of me doing that. That was my very first concert ever. I played in my parents' garage to like 30 8th graders.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, the Ibanez, and then turned into an Epiphone. because I had no money, which I used on the Actions Go, which is funny.
Oh yeah, that's cool.
And then the Epiphone turned into an SG, and then the collecting just got going. So it was a Fender Squire.
Oh yeah. So how many guitars do you own currently?
204. No,
Holy.
no, I own shit. I don't even know. They're all Reverends. Really, I got rid of my Gibsons. I still have 2 Dan Armstrongs, and probably like 12 Reverends. It's like 15 guitars or something.
Yeah, for those of you that don't know, Bob has his own signature model from Reverend Guitars. Pretty cool guitar.
Yes, and if you're
One handy?
it's this one right here. Yes.
Yeah, the gold one.
Well, there's a lot of different ones. They do this one. A lot of them are in the house. I'm not in the garage right now, but this is like the same one, but like Carina Burst.
Yeah.
It's really nice. But yeah, it's all the same specs.
Yeah, those are cool, man.
Yeah, I like them a lot.
So which one of those would you say is your favorite?
Well, I offer different reasons, and I have them out here because I teach guitar for a living, so they're in different tunings.
Sure.
But I mean, it's always like the newest one. I'm like, yeah, this one's the best.
Yeah.
I don't know. I like them all. I like them all for different reasons. This one, I mean, this is the newest one, and I haven't played a gig with this one yet, so that'll be pretty rad to bust this one's cherry eventually. It'll be pretty fun.
Yeah.
I have this one set to Fu Manchu tuning, so this is what I bring to Fu Manchu practice.
What is Fu Manchu tuning?
DGCFAD. So it's like regular tuning, but it's down a whole step.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, right on. I usually play E flat, so down a half step.
Yep, we're right there. We're down here in Fu Manchu territory. Yeah.
So when it came to this being your signature guitar, how involved were you with designing it?
I mean, I don't really know what I'm doing as far as building guitars. You know, we played the Orion Fest in Michigan, I think somewhere outside Detroit. It was Metallica's like festival. It was like 2013, and Ken and Joe from Reverend Guitars were there, and we were talking. We had a bottle of vodka, and I just kept feeding them drinks. You know, like have another, and getting hammered, and they were like, should do a signature guitar. And I was like, yeah, cool. I didn't really think that they were serious. And then like 6 months later, they were like, what would you want? Or maybe it was like a couple months, what do you want? And I was like, shit, that's awesome. So I was playing this one or something similar at the time as my live one. So this is a Reverend Sensei.
Yeah.
So it's like, I really dig the Sensei. But they had one called the Daredevil that I don't think they make anymore, but it sustained like a lot. And even if you're not plugged in, you could hear a note forever. So that was the one thing. I'm like, I love the sustain on the Daredevil, and I love the feel of the Sensei. And I want a pickup that has a mid-range spike to it, so I could stack a lot of fuzz on top of it, and it won't get muddy.
Yeah.
So they carved out the little thing underneath here to give it more sustain. So it's not like a semi-hollow body, but there's a chamber right here, and then these pickups are the signature Railhammer pickups, which have a mid-range spike in them for fuzz play and all kinds of shit. Really, I mean, it's a really versatile guitar. It does a lot of stuff. And then they beveled edge here, which is a little bit
comfort.
Mm-hmm. But it's very comfortable.
But those are humbuckers.
Yeah, they're like they're rail hammers. So it's like you got the rails here and then the pole pieces here.
Okay.
So it's kind of split up where these get a lot more output, and these are chimier.
Okay.
It's a cool mix. Yeah, I mean, they were doing that before they did my pickup.
Yeah.
But at that same festival, Joe was telling me, like, I got this pickup idea that's gonna be insane. And I'm like, what is it? He's like, I'm not gonna tell you. I'm like, okay. But then I saw it. I was like, how the fuck hasn't anyone done that yet?
Yeah.
It's such a good idea. You know?
Yeah.
Yeah, you get great tones out of it, man. It sounds so good.
Thank you. Yeah, I appreciate it. Yeah, this and this amp here too. This is the signature Rolla.
Yeah.
This thing's a beast. It's hard to make this sound bad. You can't make it sound bad.
Yeah.
Like some amps, you could crank everything and be like, "Fuck, the top end's too harsh," or like
it gets too fizzy, or yeah.
Yeah, there's like you could really. This is just different levels of awesome wherever the fuck you put stuff. It's such a cool amp.
Right on. No suck knob present.
What's that?
There's no suck knob.
It doesn't suck, and it's modeled after like a mid '80s like 800, but with extra shit in it. There's KT88 tubes, and there's a postmaster volume, so you got volume gain and postmaster volume, so you can crank it a couple different ways.
Cool.
Yeah, it's pretty fun.
What gauge strings do you use?
On this guitar, I've got 11s, like Ernie Ball 11s. What is that? 11 to, should probably know. I've been doing it forever. You just go to the store and get the purple
Right.
Ernie Ball.
Yeah.
I think it's 11 to 46. I might be wrong there. Standard. Yeah, it's not like a custom set.
Sure.
So yeah, 11s, and then on the other guitars over here, there's different gauges on all of them. Just because during the like when the pandemic started, I was like, I'm gonna just experiment with all kinds of string gauges and amps and pedals and shit, and
Yeah.
weird tunings and stuff. But yeah, Fu Manchu, it's 11s.
Speaking of weird tunings, do you do a lot of different alternate tunings?
Not in Fu. I mean, in Fu Manchu, we just do this tuning, or we'll drop this string down a whole step. So that gives you like drop D, but it's drop C.
Yeah, sure.
For us. And then we started messing with dropping this down to A, which is pretty fun on the last couple of things we've been writing. But yeah, I don't really mess with it too much. In Big Scenic Nowhere, I'll do weird shit. But once I change the tuning of guitar, like it's like kryptonite. Like everything I know is just gone. I'm like, well, fuck, now I don't know what I'm doing anymore.
And that's kind of crazy to hear you say, because you're amazing, man. Every time I see you.
Oh, well, thank you. I appreciate that. But yeah, it's a different tunings fuck me up. I mean, I could find my way pretty quick, but
Yeah.
in the standard tuning, I know my way around a lot more, so I kind of stay in that. I mean, I'll fuck with like double drop D or whatever. Like if you move this down a whole step and this down a whole step, like Cashmere from Led Zeppelin.
Okay.
That's pretty easy.
Yeah.
But or it depends if I'm teaching. I'll change tuning to whatever people want to learn. But for the most part, in Fu Manchu, yeah, it's just D standard.
Yeah, right on.
What do you consider the holy grail of guitars? If you could have any guitar in the world, what would it be?
I mean, I'm not really like. It's weird to say. I'm not a guitar guy. Like I'm more of an amp guy. I think.
Really?
It's like, because I have a signature guitar, so I don't
Yeah.
Really
So you that works for you.
Yeah,
You stick with it.
I mean,
Yeah.
This is it. I'm stoked. I mean, it would be like Gilmore's Strat.
Yeah.
It's like that's not gonna happen. It's already been sold. Yeah. That would probably be it though. Like it would have to be something previously owned by somebody else. And I love this amp, so it's like I'm kind of set up, but I wouldn't mind collecting a bunch of old Marshalls and Hiwatts and shit like that.
Yeah, for sure.
I mean, I've only got one. I used to have more, but I wouldn't mind plugging into a Dumble just to be like, why the fuck is this $100,000? This amp,
right? Yeah.
I have the pedal. I have like the pedal that emulates it a little bit for like the distortion side, but yeah, I don't know. It's hard to say. I'm pretty stoked. I've got everything I need.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. Yeah. So as far as amplifiers, when you go out on the road, it's pretty much the Rolla.
Yeah, I was bringing this Marshall out for a long time until I met Derek at Rolla in Seattle, and then we started working with this. I haven't played a show with this yet either. So both of these I got them both in the hopes that, the 20th or is it 30th? I don't even fucking know. I think it's the 30th Fu Manchu anniversary.
Yeah.
Sounds about right. We'll go with that. This would have been the two. So I haven't used them yet. I played a couple of shows with a different Rolla, but yeah, this will be what I use when we hit the road again.
Right on. Very cool. What's your pedal board look like?
I'll show you right now if you want.
Yeah, do it.
But this is just my, it depends. It all depends. This is my teaching board.
Yeah.
So when I'm teaching, it's a little different than what it usually is if I'm on stage. But so if I'm teaching, that would be like my kind of burly overdrive. That's like the Dumble.
Sure.
In a box. Anything Davis makes is amazing. I have the Regulus 8 now because I was using that for request. One of my students, we were doing a demo for one of his songs, and he wanted that on there. But usually I have my signature fuzz right here. That's the change tunings for people that don't have to deal with, too many. Like if somebody wants to learn like Sleep or Old Sabbath, like, Masters Reality Sabbath, that's just a distortion that emulates the Klon. That's like a $2,000 pedal, so I don't want to pay that. Noise suppressor just turns shit off. I use this to split my signal into two different amps.
Okay.
So that's just the space echo, but usually it's not really on much. I just use it to split the two amps. That's my reverb. This is a multi-effects unit that's really cool by Keeley, the Supermod workstation, which in Fu Manchu, none of these are on my board really, except that one. I'll throw that one on there. I have a suppressor. And then in Fu, it would be more of like my signature fuzz, a wah pedal. And I haven't toured with this delay yet. I would, anything with a tap tempo, I'm down.
Yeah.
But I've got a shit ton of pedals. So it's like, that board changes on a daily basis. When I'm in here teaching, I'll throw something else new on it.
So your signature pedal, that's a fuzz?
Yeah. So it's a creepy fingers. It's called the Balch.
Yeah.
And it's a fuzz that kind of sounds like, I used to take two of his pedals and play them at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
But one of them had like an external bias control. So I would turn that all the way up. So the pedals kind of like shit's barely coming out of it. And then I'll blast that with like a really overblown, like crazy amount of fuzz.
Uh-huh.
So the two together, like they complement each other really well. I use that on Gigantoid.
Yeah.
Giant, and I think I use it on Cloning the Universe also. I can't remember if I had the signature fuzz at that point or not. But so it has like a real kind of evil, sputtery sound. It's real gated. So it's as fuzzy as you can get with like zero noise in between chord stabs and stuff.
Yeah, that's great. What's your favorite riff that you wrote?
That I wrote?
Yeah.
For Fu?
For anybody, ever.
For Fu, I think probably Squash That Fly, I guess.
Yeah.
Or the end of El Monstro Atomico, like the last 5 minutes or so. Or that's something that I had back when we did King of the Road that I just sat on for like 20 years or something. And then eventually I sent it to a reader and he's like, what is that? I'm like, I've had that for 20 years. That's pretty cool. I guess Big Scenic Nowhere would maybe be a song called Hidden Wall. There's some cool riffs going on that one. And then Sun and Sail Club, like I wrote all the Sun and Sail Club shit, so any of that would be fine.
Right on. What's your favorite riff that somebody else wrote that you wish you had written?
That's a good question. I mean, I wish I wrote Back in Black. Don't we all?
Right?
Pretty lucrative. I wish that I fucking wrote like that shit you hear at like sporting events. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because that guy, the guy that wrote that, he wrote it for a sports team in San Diego, and like I think it was like in the 40s or something. And then he got royalties for it from whatever the team was in San Diego. But then every sporting event like started using that fucking and so he ended up cleaning house. Like he got a lot of fucking money.
Yeah, nice.
From that's 3 notes. It's like A, C sharp, E, A. So
Brilliant.
Yeah, it sounds generic, but I wish I wrote that. I'd make a lot of money. Anything that you could just sit back and get paid every time, like the fucking like the Simpsons, like if I wrote that, like that guy makes so much fucking money.
Yeah.
That would be pretty rad. I guess like heavy shit though. I mean, Into the Void would be pretty cool to say I wrote, I suppose.
Yeah. So those riffs that you were just talking about, your favorite that you've written, could you play us a couple of those?
Yeah, so there El Monstro Atomico one. It was pretty clean at first. It goes like a that thing since like King of the Road. I think it would be its own song, and then we ended up using it for the back half. And then we like it varies a little bit. So it goes from like power chords to like sixes, like
yeah. Right on.
That one's cool. Squash That Fly. I think you've heard maybe. But yeah, that one's pretty easy. That one's like if you listen to that, it's that I'm hearing it, it's well, not now that I'm hearing it, but after I wrote it, it's pretty. There's part of it that's kind of similar to a Devo song named "Be Stiff," and I was listening to a lot of Devo, as you can see, like right here. I think the Devo one goes. It goes we're going. I went and checked it out the other day. It wasn't that similar. It was pretty fucking close though. And I was like, oh, that's where I got it.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then like any of the Sun and Sail Club shit, I haven't played that forever. I don't even know. Oh, there's one song, but on our first record that's pretty rad. That this guitar's in standard. So if you take the low E and tune it to the A, so it's like. So now these are the same. Top two strings.
Yeah.
Where they're an octave. And then, so whatever you play on the top string, it's an octave. It's the same note, but the higher.
Right.
Just right below. Kind of like, I think Rusty Cage is like that. But there's a Sun and Sail Club song called Season in Hell that goes like So you hear that, like, it kind of rolls, you know?
Yeah, that's cool.
And I'm stealing that. From Randy Rhoads. There's a song called Steal Away the Night that goes like so you can see that him going I was going
Yeah, right on.
and respects, but yeah, slightly ripping that shit off.
Very cool.
Yeah.
How long have you been doing Play This Riff?
Since 2008, I think I started interviewing people, and it didn't go live until time because I wanted to make sure that we had enough content.
Yeah.
Yeah, it'd be stupid to be like, check out my website. There's like 10 videos. So I think I did it for a year, and I think we had like 30 bands when it started, and now it's got like 74 or something. I lost count, but yeah, so it's been a while, and it's been cool.
Yeah.
It's been pretty consistent. Yeah, I thought when I started it, it was just like, fuck, this is gnarly. But yeah, it's been like, this is great, and here we are for a long time.
Yeah.
Which is cool by me. You know, it's been a cool avenue to get in contact with people that I admire and would ask questions.
Sure. Yeah.
To anyway. So
yeah, I think it's pretty bitchin'.
Yeah, it's been fun, and it's been a good way to, like, all the Big Scenic Nowhere dudes that are on there pretty much.
Yeah.
You know, like when we get guests, I just kind of go and play this riff and go, I wonder who we could score. You know, and like Daniel from Voivod's on Play This Riff. He played with Big Scenic Nowhere. Nick Oliveri from Queens, he's on there. There's a bunch of, I mean, Gary's on there. Gary from Yanni Man's on there, and he's a core member. And Tony Reed, Tony from Lost Generators on there. He's a core member. So it all kind of, The Well, they're on there.
Yeah.
And they're on one of the records. I'm sure I'm missing Monolord. Monolord's on there, and they guest on the record too. So yeah, it's been kind of rad to be able to ask people to play.
And teaching people how to play guitar, that's something you've been doing for a while?
Yeah, it's before I even joined Fu Manchu, like when I was in high school. Even like during math class, like metal dudes would be like, hey dude, can you fucking tab out Sweet Leaf? And I'd be like, yeah, it'd be like a couple bucks, but sure.
Yeah.
And I would draw the tabs and then write out how to play Sweet Leaf. So yeah, it's been a long time. I've been doing it for a living outside of Fu Manchu, like when we're not touring, since 2005, I think.
Yeah.
But yeah.
What's the best part about teaching?
Just that I get to play the guitar all day long, you know, and figure out songs by other bands that maybe I haven't heard of, or, you know, on my downtime, I wouldn't really be like, oh, I'm going to try to pick apart this Jeff Beck solo from the song I've never heard. You know what I mean? But some dude will be like, I want to learn the solo, and I'm like, let's check it out, and I'll be able to cherry pick ideas from it. You know, and it's made me a better player for sure, because I sit in this chair 10 hours a day. You know, 4 days a week just playing the guitar. So it's pretty fun.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. I don't know what else.
I only got like 4 minutes because I do have to get on a lesson.
Oh, right on. So maybe you could just play us something you've been working on lately that's kind of blowing your mind.
Yeah. Let me think. Because there's a Big Scenic Nowhere record that isn't out yet. Trying to think of what riff would be kind of cool from there. How's that one? We just got done mastering it. It's a mellower one. It's kind of like a Pink Floyd thing.
Oh, cool.
I gotta get like a. It's down a whole step, but it's like pretty relaxing. It's like... we just jammed that for a while, and then we got the guitar player from The Cure and David Bowie, Reeves Gabriel, I think. Gabriel? Yeah. I'm saying his name right? Probably not. But yeah, he's fucking ripping all over that. And Tony Reed from Lost Generator singing over it. I can't remember the next part. That's funny. Oh yeah, it gets kind of fuzzed out. It's like you guys have to wait for it to come out. But that first part was correct.
Yeah.
That next part was not. Yeah, that's what I worked pretty heavily on that for. Not that, but the song itself is like 19 minutes long.
Mm-hmm.
So it goes kinds of different shit. It's just like 2 little pieces, but worked pretty hard on that for a couple months, which was cool during the pandemic to have something to come in here and dig into.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
Because Manchu wasn't really getting together for a while, and we've been writing too. And I think we're gonna head to the studio at the beginning of next month, hopefully.
Cool. Right on.
For a new 10-inch, and we got another 10-inch coming out. We just did the artwork for it, so hopefully pretty soon. Yeah, keep an eye out for that.
Right on. Well, thanks, Bob. I appreciate it.
Yeah, no worries, man. That was
great chatting with you, Bob.
Yeah, for sure, dude. All right, I'm gonna hop on a lesson. I'll check you later, dude.
Well, that's going to do it for this episode of Every Guitar Story. Thanks for tuning in. As always, I look forward to your feedback. Hit like and subscribe. Be safe out there. Get vaccinated. Take care of one another. I love you. Namaste, motherfuckers.
Mm-hmm.